Yeah, no issue.
This is Sharon on behalf of IMT, and I have Rajshri Shelke today, who is going to address us on a very, very important topic for today, and which is also ongoing for a lot of us. And I think we all need to get some quick takeaways from today's topic. And from Rajshri. Nutritionist and certain working with individuals across all age groups. Rajshri specializes in diabetes prevention and management through, realistic and Indian lifestyle friendly nutrition strategies. Her approach focuses on addressing root causes like insulin resistance without crash diets or extreme restrictions, helping people build sustainable habits that actually work. So, Rajeshri, without wasting much time, I would like you to take over. I think
Yes.
our audience is waiting for you.
Yes, yes, yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Sharon. And I'm extremely grateful for giving me this platform so that I'm happy and grateful that we are collaborating on this topic so that we can reach more and more people. Just before we begin, I just want to know, I hope my screen is visible and my voice is audible clearly.
Yes, I
Okay.
think everyone can give a thumbs up because if I allow everyone to talk, it may be a little
Yes,
chaotic.
yes.
So I think whenever Rajeshri, you guys want to acknowledge something, you guys can give a thumbs up. Else, I have open any questions. You can put it in the Q&A. We can just keep scrolling through if anyone has anything while on the call. Or we can address the questions later,
Yeah,
in the session.
yes, yes. That would be better. We will address the all your queries at the end, so that would be a good kind of insights everyone will be getting. Okay, and in order to not to get diverted by the topic, so that would be great. I feel okay. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yes.
Okay, great. So good evening, everyone. Good evening to all the attendees who are present here and making up this time for yourself is very important. I feel. Okay. As you are already aware, today's agenda of our discussion is, to decode diabetes. Okay. So I'm just going to give you a brief kind of a roadmap. What is that we are going to look into? Okay, so before we start, I just want to, tell you few things, kind of, you might say as a disclaimer. It is like, here what we are talking is about type 2 diabetes. Okay, it's not about any kind of other diabetes because if you know, diabetes are different types, type 1, type 2, 1.5 and all. So just to make you very, very clear, we will be discussing only on type 2 diabetes. Okay. Okay, I hope that's fine with all of you. Okay, and also another thing which I want to highlight here is this webinar is in order to empower you, in order to create you awareness about how actually we can, manage our diabetes very well. And not to fearmonger you, or not to give you like a general diet plan or something. Okay, because when it comes to diabetes, you should always be taking care with your medicines, and without any without any this thing, you should not be stopping off your medications, and you should be doing that with your consent, with your whoever the doctor who is treating you. So please bear this in mind. Okay, but you will be taking some good insights, takeaways from this webinar for that, sure. Okay, so just we'll begin with our webinar. Okay, the first topic here is metabolic iceberg. Okay, you might see think that what is this all about? Why I'm talking like using these kind of alien words, uh, but I just want to, tell you here that when it comes to diabetes, okay, see, I want to make this a very, very kind of a individual approach of today's webinar should be very individualistic. Matlab, the person who is dealing with diabetes or a pre-diabetes should get some insights. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you, what is the state of current diabetes or what is diabetes and how it will be and what are different types, nothing. Okay, so as I said, yes, but we'll be talking about type 2 diabetes. Okay, uh, so as you can see here, right, what is all diabetes all about? Okay, so in just one word, if I have to describe, it's all about a metabolic dysfunction, okay, or a metabolic disorder. Okay, the spike which you can see, this I am giving here the analogy of an iceberg. Okay, whenever you see the tip of the iceberg, but you will just see that tip, right? You will not know what is there in down or in depth, right? So, similarly, when it comes to diabetes as well, we have that invisible spikes. Okay, invisible sugars are spiking invisibly without knowing. Okay, so what is that reason all about? Why? What is that hidden thing which is there? There might be a stress, there might be a oxidative kind of a damage which is happening in your body. Okay, there might be a kind of inflammations. Okay, why all this? Because of our current lifestyle. Okay, okay, that is when it comes to, if I specifically want to address, as we are talking to all the corporates who are sitting here as attendees majorly. Okay, why? Because our lifestyle is more of sedentary lifestyle. Definitely we are not really taking care of our sleep. Okay, and all this is interlinked. The food definitely plays a major role, but there are other things which are interlinked, and that's the reason why I have given this analogy like a metabolic iceberg. Okay, that is, whenever you see the iceberg, you just see the tip. You think what happens when it comes to diabetes still today, even after so much of what do you say, kind of a technologically or awareness has been done, still there are many people who still think diabetes is majorly because of only eating sweets, or when it comes to only with the food, right? But it is not. Okay, so I just want to understand, I'll help you understand here the diabetes root cause. What is the root cause of diabetes? Okay, again, see, I always want to explain my audience or the attendees with some analogy so that it will be easy for you to easy for you to grasp that for and keep in your memories for a long time. I hope that's okay with you. Just give me a thumbs up, because this way you will remember this. Like one day I attended so and so webinar and I was able to get this kind of example, so that will remain for you for a longer period of time. That's the only funda of giving this kind of analogies. Okay, so I personally think our body is like a car. Okay, so now think your body as a high end model. Okay, whatever is your favorite one, maybe a Ferrari or maybe a BMW or whatever. Okay, now you have that Ferrari or a BMW in your house. Okay, what you will do? Definitely you will fill the petrol, whatever you will do, the all the maintenance, everything on time to time. But that Ferrari or that BMW is always sitting idle in your garage without any kind of a movement. Then do you think it will work, or it will be that Ferrari will be running, in a high speed when you when you start driving it? Do you think it will run if it is kept in your garage for a longer period of a time? In the say like 1 year, 2 years, you have taken this year, but you have driving it next year. What do you think? Just give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, saying that it will not work. Thumbs up saying it will work. Just thumbs up and thumbs down. I'm looking for. What do you think? See, what happens here is actually, yes, the Ferrari will not run properly. In the sense, what I'm trying to say here is your body, you know, the body is example here is Ferrari. Okay, you are giving that fuel. You are giving the fuel in the form of your food, that is your breakfast, tea, snack, lunch, right? And you are not working out, you are not going to taking a good sleep, and all that is going to burden your body in the form of high cholesterol, high sugar levels, right? And that is the overflow, in the sense that Ferrari is there, but it is leaking, it is overflowing, right? And why that is overflowing? Because fuel तो है, but वो fuel use नहीं हो रहा है. Here your fuel is your sugar. Okay, and I'm trying to tell you, your car is your body. Here the overflow which is happening in your body is your sugar levels. Okay, the petrol which I'm telling you, that is the very important part, right? That is a fuel. We call food as a fuel only, so right? So similarly, whenever that fuel is not proper, and that will increase your sugar level, in the sense कि आपकी body में sugar तो है, but it is not getting used up properly, and that is the diabetes ka root cause. Okay, and why all this is happening? Because of the, as I told you earlier, those spikes. What are the reason underneath which are hidden, right? It is with your lifestyle patterns. In the sense, you are sitting in your office for long hours without taking breaks. See, I'm not telling that you should not be sitting at all. See, if you are aware of this term or no, I'm not really sure. Like smoking is injurious to health, sitting is equally injurious to health. Okay. So the important tip which you can remember here, always try to get up from your seat after 90 minutes. I think that is pretty much possible for all of us, right? Okay, just try to stretch your body. Just try to, go if you want to have a small talk or chat kind of a thing. Just go get up and talk. So this way you will be keeping your body active. Okay, one of the tip. Okay, this is not the only thing which you will be doing. Okay, so this is the major root cause. I hope this will be remembered for longer period of time with you people, that why I'm trying to give you this analogy, like your body is your Ferrari. Remember that. Okay, now let's understand, as I told you, right? That is the diabetes ka root cause is all your lifestyle, and that root cause is going to damage your insulin resistance. Okay, when it comes to diabetes, I hope everyone have heard of this term insulin. Give me a thumbs up if you heard of this term insulin. Yes, many of you, right? Now, uh, I again, a similar kind of a analogy you can say. Okay, why insulin resistance happen? Everything is, as I told, interlinked. Your lifestyle, your food, your sleep, your exercise, your stress level, all these are going to impact your insulin. Abhi, glucose. What is this glucose all about? Okay, that is what we call in a very common term, that is your sugar. Nothing high funda here. Okay, it's your blood sugar. Okay, this is the source, actually major source of energy is your sugar, that is a glucose. Okay, अभी जैसे मैंने बोला that car has, it's there, it is like overflowing with this glucose now, right? It has to go somewhere, right? So it has to go somewhere so that it get used up, but it is not going anywhere. It is just building up in your body. But in order to go into somewhere, that somewhere is your cells, you know, all your body cells. Okay, in order to go into that cell, it requires a key. Okay, key is your insulin. Okay, agar ye chavi, okay, that insulin, the key is not working properly, definitely this glucose is not going to enter into your cell wall, and it is not, and your cell walls, and in turn you are going to see the sugar levels are on a higher side. When I say sugar levels, normal, then normal like one above 125, above 140. If it is fasting is going above 100, that is your abnormal sugar levels. Okay, it gets stuck in your bloodstream itself, and it's not getting used up anywhere, not in your muscles, not into your liver, anywhere. So I'm just telling you in a very, very layman's language. Okay. Again, you might ask, but this insulin is there. No, it can help. But this insulin is there. As I said, it is resistant, it is hesitant, it is reluctant. It's saying, no, 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 I'm not going to open your key at all. I'm not going to help you at all because you have overflown the glucose. And what is the reason for that? As I already told, is our all lifestyle choices. Again, apart from these lifestyle choices, there are other factors, that is your what do you say, your hereditary, like your family history, someone from the family is also dealing with diabetes. Then there might be other reasons, like as I said, someone who is going to in a pregnancy at that point of time, if that lady is into gestational diabetes, she is prone to again a type 2 diabetes in later years, right? But again, as I told you, type 2, typically I'm talking here only about type 2, is majorly a lifestyle or a metabolic disorder. Again, you might ask, as madam, you told me about family history, and so I'm diabetic. No, I completely agree. Family history से आपका diabetes हो सकता है. Again, as Asians, if you see, our Asian population is very, very, like prone to have a diabetic. Insulin resistance is on a higher side. If you see, diabetes is the like India is now the diabetes capital of the world. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? You people are very much, you know it's easily understandable, right? What is the where we are heading towards, and it's a very, very high time now. We should be thinking about our lifestyle choices which we are making. It's not saying in a very lamely, like very taking it very in an ignorant way and saying ki it's there in my blood. My father had, my grandmother had, or my mummy had, whatever. I completely agree, but again, the evidences have shown that it is hardly some percentage, 0.25 percentage of that is, where are the chances you will get into it. But if you are able to tackle your lifestyle choices, then definitely things will improve for you. There might be chances, even if you get diabetes, you will be able to reverse it, you will be able to manage it very well. Okay, again, a quick kind of a disclaimer here. Someone now going ahead of this slide, I want to help you understand diabetes reversal and diabetes remission as well. Now, when it comes to diabetes reversal, someone who is say like 10 years, 15 years, whatever, and not having any major complications with diabetes, there are chances that they can reverse diabetes. When we say reverse diabetes, in the sense, they are not taking any kind of medication, they are completely following the lifestyle to the T. In that case, your reversal is possible. Diabetes remission is the most appropriate word to use. Scientifically, we should be using that term, but it becomes a little difficult for a common layman to understand what is remission all about. Okay. But again, as I said, there is a small difference. Remission is more about your medication is still there, but you have seen a major improvement when it comes to controlling your sugars. And personally, I have seen a lot of my clients getting a reversal as well and a remission as well through lifestyle modification. Okay. So we'll be moving to that as well in the very next slide. Okay. I hope you are okay with the diabetes remission and diabetes reversal term now. Just give me thumbs up. You are fine with that. You got the definition right. Okay, great, great. Thank you for that wonderful responses which I am getting. Okay. Now, as I told you, what happens when it comes to diabetes? No, generally, say someone is who is newly diabetic. Okay, newly diabetic मतलब recently उनको पता चला है through their HbA1c report that they have gotten diabetes. Okay, going ahead, there are few things we should be remembering, like this. That's the reason I have got this topic as a metabolic dashboard. Apart from HbA1c, you should be checking your fasting insulin, HOMA HIR, HIR, nahi, HOMA IR, sorry. Then your fasting and postprandial, you have to check on regular basis. Okay. Now, what does all these reports or these biomarkers do is HbA1c will give you a 3 month ka average. That is your kind of a final grade where you'll come to know whether you are in diabetic, which stage. Okay, someone who is above 5.3, sorry, 5.7, definitely going into a category of a pre-diabetic. Still 6.4, after that it is completely above 6.4 is your completely diabetic zone. Okay, and that's very important to understand. Now, as I said, all these other biomarkers here, you should not be doing it very randomly. You should be taking advice from your doctor. Again, I'm telling, see, it's not that you will be teaching your doctor how to treat you or something. It's that you should be aware what is the treatment which you are getting from the doctor. Okay, so we are working as a team here, not like doing an individual thing. Okay, so always work with your doctor in a cooperative way, so that it will be easy for you to help you. It will be easy for you to manage your sugars, diabetes, I feel. It's not going against them. Okay, so other than HbA1c, you should be taking care of your fasting and postprandial. Again, I will tell you here what happens. Someone who is diabetic, I have seen this with my clients, most of my clients who are having sugars like 300, 400, and they are very bluntly telling they are not, they haven't checked their sugars for a month altogether, which is very wrong thing, I feel. What happens, no, there are many diabetic people who have zero symptoms. Okay, and there are majority of a population who have a symptoms. When the symptoms, you are pretty much, I'll just give you a brief of that. What are the basic symptoms? Like you go to, washroom for a, on a frequent level, you feel hungry longer period of like after very within few hours you feel hungry. Okay, then apart from that, you will be like, might be whenever your sugars are low, you might be feeling dizzy, lethargy, and all. So these are few of the symptoms when the person is diabetic. Okay, again, as I said, when you are checking your sugar levels on a very regular level, regularly, depending upon your HbA1c. See, अभी जैसे मैंने बोला, for example, someone is a pre-diabetic, in the sense he has a HbA1c report of 5.7 to like maybe in between 5.9 or 5.9 or 6. Okay, in that scenario, for them it's not required to check on daily basis, but at least as I said, once in 3 months they should be checking their sugar levels. That's very important. Going ahead, someone who is, in a stage of 6.7 or 7 is their HbA1c. In that scenario, checking your sugars twice in a day becomes very important, or at least once. Say, like fasting, either fasting or either postprandial. Postprandial is after your meals, is very important. So that when you track yourself, you will come to know what are the blood sugars you are having on day-to-day basis. On that scenarios, it will be easy for you to maintain your lifestyle challenges, especially when it comes to food. And this is the reason why, as a diabetes reversal coach, we always try to help our clients to check their, fasting and postprandial on regular basis. As I said, for a 7, I would highly recommend taking at least one in a day, and someone above 7.5 or 8 at least twice, and above that definitely taking thrice is very important in that scenario. Okay, nowadays we have got lot of improvement, lot of technological improvement has happened when it comes to checking your insulin. There is a CGM device and all those other stuff. We are not going detail into it. Yes, CGM is useful, but it has got its own pros and cons. Okay, so we are not dealing with that. But I would highly recommend doing your regular fasting and postprandial through your, blood is always the better way, instead of sticking to CGM alone. Okay. So these are the major biomarkers or the metabolic dashboard which you should be keeping in mind when it comes to diabetes. As I said, one more thing, as I said, fasting insulin, okay, and HOMA IR. This will help you to understand how is your actually, insulin is working. Okay, Fasting insulin tell us how hard your body is working before your sugar rises, and homa will tell you in the sense exactly to help you understand how that insulin levels are there in your body. So depending on that you can check it. Okay, but again, as I said, it has to be done under doctor guidance. Okay. Then, as I told you all about this, right? Key like why this diabetes happens, what is the root cause, what are the things which are reason for that is now in order to manage your diabetes, okay, type 2 diabetes. What are the important pillars? I call them as a metabolic pillars, or you can call it as a lifestyle pillars. It's very basic stuff, but very ignored thing, I feel. Okay, so let's see, and let's see how each one is going to help you in order to manage and in order to reverse your diabetic. Okay, now first is your food. Okay, uh, I just want to know how many of you feel taking roti and rice is not a good idea when it comes to sugar. Yes, just give me a kind of a thumbs up if you agree that roti and rice is important for sugars, and disagree if you feel it's not required. Okay, great. Many of you, many, many, many. Okay, great. Okay. See, first and foremost thing, I just want to clear one thing here. As Indians and as Asians, our staple diet, okay, is carbohydrates. आप कितना भी दिमाग लगा लो, you try n number of dietary patterns uh, or n number of diet online saying that, this is keto, this is what do you say, low carb or whatever, n kind of diets. But at the end of the day, as you see, our staple Indian dietary source is majorly focused on carbohydrates, which we can't really ignore. Okay? Now, now the question arises here is it really important or it's not really important to take roti and rice? Okay? So answer will be in my, if you ask me, it will be neutral. It can be yes, it can be no. Why? Because as I told, nutrition will never work in a very like it's not black and white, it's very nuanced. Okay, so again, it's a very individualistic approach. I have seen clients who are maintaining their sugar levels with a basic rice, and there are clients who can't even touch rice. Okay, so it's very individualistic basis, but still, if I want to give like a general idea, yes, you can have your roti and your rice, but in a very quantified manner. The frequency has to be low. There has to be a combination which you can have with your roti or your rice. Okay, again, cutting them completely down for someone who is a carb eater, for that matter, he's been if you as I said, our ancient our ancestors, since our ancient wisdom will never allow us to go without our carbohydrates, right? That's the reality. Okay, but earlier, our lifestyles were pretty different. It was pretty active. That's the reason they were able to have that kind of carbohydrate sources in their food. But now, as I told, our lifestyle is just different. It is majorly sedentary. Right? In that scenario, definitely you will be having your roti or your rice, but as I told, in a quantified manner. It can be a brown rice, it can be a white rice, depending upon your preferences, depending upon your financial conditions, depending upon your cultural background. Okay, this food has to be taken. Okay, that again I'm repeating, might be boring for a few of us, but food is very individual. It has a cultural background, so we can't really deny carbohydrates in our food, right? But what is the way which we can really have that? Okay, we'll come into that. But I'll just want to highlight you here with few points. Someone who is having roti, say especially when it comes to north side, right? There the majority of a population is eating roti, and when it comes to south of India, majorly people are eating rice, right? So you maintain a combination of this. Again, I would highly recommend eat different varieties of rice. There are indigenous varieties of rice as well. There is a brown rice, red rice, black rice. Again, there are indigenous variety which are nowadays easily available online as well. You can include that. When it comes to grain varieties, when I say roti, wheat roti, add emmer wheat. If you are aware, emmer is nothing but a kapli wheat. They call it as kapli in Marathi, or in general Hindi also. In English, it is called emmer wheat. This is one of the best source of wheat if you want to include in your diet. Again, it definitely similar to your regular wheat, only just that it has a little more of fiber into it and less of gluten. So you can include that. Okay, you can include different types of millets. Okay, millets, again I want to highlight here, millet is not the only like a ramban upai to your diabetes. There are a lot of fear mongering, a lot of things which are going around when it comes to social media. Millet is just a different grain, regular other than your rice and roti. That's your wheat. Okay, millet may you will get n number of millets, that is bajri, rajgira, then you get ragi, then you get navni, then you get what do you say, many different varieties of millets for that matter. But I want to tell you here, millets is again not for everyone. As I said, it's not, it can't be a very generic, we can't speak all these things in a very generic context, because it is a very individual thing. There are people who can digest millets very easily. There are people who can't digest millets easily. So there are different scenarios involved, but you can use them. There is no harm in using that. Okay. Now we'll see how we can fix them. Your roti and rice, there is a big confusion almost all the time. So there is a big confusion, but it can be easily very well maintained by following a system, that is a meal plate method. Have any one of you have heard of this term anytime, or they are following this kind of a system in their routine? If yes, just give me a thumbs up if you are following. If you are not aware, just give me a thumbs down. That's fine. Are you aware of this meal plate method? This is a typical diabetic meal plate method. Very good. Few of them are aware of it. Okay, great. Okay. See, following a meal plate method strategically will definitely improve your blood sugar levels. I have seen this personally with my clients, so that's the reason I can vouch on that. That definitely it works. Okay. What is that you should be taking care of? Sorry, what is that you should be taking care here? Now, this meal plate method. Okay, so here we'll be talking about all your carbohydrates, proteins, and fibers, everything. Okay, if you see, this is the picture which I have included is from one of my clients. Okay, and the above picture is from the internet, and it is a diabetic plate method only. Okay, so here what they want to help you understand is whatever your meals are, majorly focusing on your major two meals, your lunch and dinner. Okay, but ideally your breakfast has to be in this way only. Okay, try to understand here, the meal आप जो भी लोगे, your lunch and dinner has to be in this manner. Very easy to understand. 50% of the plate, if you see the arrow, 50% of the plate has to be your vegetables. Now, when I say vegetables, it can be 25% can be your raw salad kind of a thing. That is basic, your onion, tomatoes, cucumbers, beet. Okay. And 25% could be your any vegetable, except depending upon your sugar levels, again, your starchy vegetables, try to limit them. Okay. Like potato and pumpkin and all, but still depending on sugar levels, as I said, you can include it in a form of a sabzi, any of that 25%. See to that your sabzi or your curry has to be less of oil and less of gravy, and it has to be more of less of gravy, in the sense definitely vegetable quantity will increase. If you put a lot of gravy into it, and you will get a 2 to 3 pieces of some veggies, it is of no use. Okay, so try to make your plate 25% in a regular cooked vegetables. Okay, again, salad is 25%. Someone is not interested, someone don't like having salad for that matter, or any other reason, gastric issues and all, you can go for soup. Okay, now then comes your protein source. 25%, that is the 1/4 of your plate, has to be your this thing, a protein source. When it comes to protein, it has to be any kind of a, majorly I would try to tell you, try to include like a first class protein in the form of paneer, tofu, soya bean. Okay, other than that, legume varieties like rajma, chole, then definitely non-vegetarian sources. Someone who is a non-vegetarian can go for all non-vegetarian options like chicken, fish. Okay, and apart from that, definitely eggs. Okay, so these has to be your 25%, that is 1/4 of the plate. Example, अगर आपने लंच के लिए बनाया है, say similarly mixed vegetable की सब्जी, it has all capsicum, it has got onion, tomatoes, and a regular salad. Then your other protein source could be a simple egg burji or a paneer burji or a dal, but the dal has to be thick. But I have seen most of our Indian dal variety, when we say, they try to make it in a very liquidy form, which is not going to help you. Try to make it thick so that you will get the protein. Remember, the dal now which I'm telling you here, again it has a carbohydrate source into it. So that's the reason I'm telling you to include first class proteins majorly. Okay, that is your, if you majorly our Indian population is vegetarian predominantly. Okay, so try to include like paneer, soya bean. Oh, vegetarian hai but still having eggs, that is the good source. Then your carbohydrates, as I told you, right? रोटी हो सकती है, rice हो सकता है, or even the potato, the starchy thing, as I told you, or a sweet potato could be your carbohydrate source here. Now, in this carbohydrate source, even the millets will come, your idli, dosas, pohas, upmas, and everything is your carbohydrate source. So this thing has to be 25%, that is 1/4 of your plate. Okay. Sorry, that might be a one roti or a two rotis depending upon the size in which is made in your home. Okay, ideally the roti size has to be this much. Okay, I hope that is visible to everyone. Just give me a thumbs up if you are able to see my palm which I have just shown you. Okay, great. Just a minute. Great. Now this is your plate. But you might ask me, like, shall I eat it randomly? वैसे ही. No. This is your meal plate. This is a diabetic meal plate. But there is a sequence. You might be seeing this terminology here. Meal sequencing. जब भी आप खाने की शुरुआत करते हो, start eating with your salads first. Whatever the salad for that day. I'm not asking you go for any kind of exotic salad. Basic kanda, tomato, is good to go. Okay, so have that one. Then go to your protein source. Maybe, as I said, it might be an egg, it might be a paneer, it might be a tofu or a soya. Have that. Then go for your carbohydrate source. Okay, that might be a roti or a rice. In the sense, like, आप पहले salad खाओगे, then you will have your protein with your with your roti or with your rice, then both of them together, that way. So what will this do? What is this going to help me, you might ask me. See, fiber and protein take longer period of time to digest in our body. Okay, these are like a speed breakers. है ठीक है, speed breakers to our body. So whenever you eat fiber and protein, automatically what will happen is, again, it will take 20 minutes to reach the signal from your intestine to your brain. There is a vagus nerve system. Okay, we are not going technically over here. Just understand there is a gut brain axis which is there. Nowadays, there are a lot of studies which are happening around this topic. Okay, so what will happen is when you are eating, like your salad, your protein, then automatically 20 minutes तो मतलब मान के चलो in between that automatically you are feeling full, satiety level improve हो जाएगा, right? Definitely your carbohydrate intake will reduce. Okay, if you have taken a two big routines, definitely you will have one and a half. Trust me on this, this happens. Okay, and what this will do, it will help you to balance out your insulin, your sugar spike later, your food, once you had your meals. Okay, so this is the basic strategy which you should be following. On day-to-day basis, I would recommend this to be followed by someone who is non-diabetic also. It's not for someone who is only diabetic, he has to follow this. But in general, I feel nowadays it's a very high time now we should be following this time of eating system, which is going to help you to maintain your sugar levels. When it comes to again, well, protein, definitely, ideally, I would recommend adding zero point 0.8 to 1 gram per kg body weight. It should increase a bit, okay, 1 to 1.2, depending upon your activity level as well. And when it comes to protein, please go for protein supplement if you are not going to fulfill through your food. Okay, if someone has a query, you can later ask me on that part as well. Okay, or we will discuss it later. So this is the basic strategy which you should be following in order to maintain with your food. Okay. Now, food to ho gaya, right? That is the first pillar which we should be following, right? Once your food is done, the basic moments here I have given you, these are the very smart moments. Okay, these are like a golden rule, you can say, like you can say this as a very mandatory thing. I tell most of our clients to follow this. Try to do soleus push-up. Okay, or nitric oxide dump is nothing but it is a quick squat exercise for 4 minutes, or you can do a anti-gravity exercise in the sense like you will be walking down the like in the stairs. Okay, or a basic 15 minutes of walk might be in your vicinity, like within your home, or when you are in your offices, you can do in your office itself. But this can be very much doable. You might ask me, is this the only these moments are enough? I would say no, these moments are not enough, but they are a basic smart moments which will definitely help you to improve sugars. Okay, and I have seen this personally happening. Okay, so this is the again a tip to you. After your meals, don't rush suddenly. Okay, keep a gap at least for 60 minutes or so, and then go for a 15-20 minutes of walk. What this will do is, whenever your body after food, there definitely the digestion process starts, and whenever that glucose is released into the bloodstream, if you are a diabetic, you know how it gets stored. In order to avoid that, when there is a movement, definitely those sugars will be used up in your muscles. Okay, and when you walk, when you do kind of a stretches and all, it will be used when you walk or a climb stairs or a soleus push-up or a squat as well. It will be used up by your leg muscles. Okay, so that is the basic thing which you need to be doing after your food. Okay, but as I said, is this only going to help? No, this is not going to help. With that, there are other components of exercise, or I would ideally call it as exercise, because there are moments, there are components which you should remember. That is a cardio, there is a strength, there is a flexibility. These are the three components. Again, cardio, strength, and flexibility. As humans, our body is meant to move. You might be aware of this, right? As humans, we should be moving, but it's a sad part. Again, there is no one is say like. Uh, it's very sad on our part itself that nowadays we are not moving. Okay, definitely our work and number of things are there, but it's very important to understand. Try to take exercise not as a hobby or a not as a thing, but it is a basic requirement for our body. Okay, like we brush our teeth, it's very important to do the exercise as well. Okay, so exercise में cardio is what? It's like all the running kind of a activity or on a treadmill or just running, swimming, all those kind of a thing. Strength training is what is using your body weights and the dumbbell weights and the weights. Okay. Then the agility is your flexibility. That is through yoga postures, yoga or the stretches in that scenario. What this will do is all this will help you to, you know, help to improve your muscles and lose your fat, and all this will have a direct impact on your sugars. Okay, especially if you ask me, strength training, okay, or lifting weights, okay, is a very important thing or a game changer for a diabetic or a pre-diabetic, because what happens is, muscle is the largest tissue in an organ, right? So what this will do, whenever there is an extra, whenever there is a large amount of sugars or a glucose in a bloodstream, definitely when you are doing lifting weights and all, which are a progressive training happening, so your muscles will use up that glucose. Again, that will not happen only for that particular exercise time, or 30 minutes or 1 hour. It will be happening 24 to 48 hours as well. So that means your sugars will be used up by your muscles for that recovery, because when there is a muscle is being used up, wear and tear happens, right? But later on it has to recover, so वहां पर आपका glucose used up हो जाएगा, and this will help you on your fat loss, on your sugar levels as well. And trust me, this is a game changer. And it's a very sad part, again, 1% of Indian population using gym. Gym is not a luxury, guys. Try to understand this now. It is becoming a necessity, and it's not a very kind of a, what do you say, it's not necessary for you to have that bulky muscles or something, or you should be very athletic. Start with a basic thing from your house, then move towards gym, I would like to say. Okay, you can take 5 kg, 10 kg dumbbells in your house. Don't go for 1 kg and 1.5. Even if a lady is there, even if she's a woman, I would not recommend those small weights. Try to, come out of that comfort zone and start doing that exercises, so that it will improve your sugars going ahead. And you, if even if you're prone to that disease for diabetic, you will be controlling it in a very well manner. So exercise is very important, and these smart moments are again a very important tip, I would like to say, uh, post your meals, which you can do it easily. Okay, now we'll see the third, or a most important pillar for that matter, is your stress and sleep. I'm discussing both together because there is nothing, we can't go in detail here. So stress and sleep, again, everything is interlinked. When you are stressed, you can't sleep. When your sleep is not there, again your stress levels will impact. जब आपका stress and sleep is on a higher side, definitely your cortisol is again a hormone which impacts your sugar levels. Okay, so try to have a good night's sleep. Yes, there are many people who are having sleep issues. Again, I don't want to give you a generic this thing idea over here, but just want to give you some quick tip. Try to disconnect from your phone at least half an hour. Try starting with maybe a basic deep meditation kind of a thing. If meditation is difficult for you, try to engage yourself before going to bed at least half an hour. Okay, at least half an hour. I'm not asking 1 hour also. Okay, uh, try to engage in activity, maybe some kind of a drawing, maybe a painting, maybe just listening to music. Okay, again, there is a sleep hygiene also is a term, where what is sleep hygiene all about? Sleep hygiene मतलब जैसे जैसे दिन ढलता है शाम के वक्त, try to keep your house in a such a way that naturally your melatonin hormone should be released. In the sense, like melatonin is nothing but a sleep hormone. What will happen is, keep your dim lights, don't use bright lights, white bright lights. listen to low music. If you are someone who is having lot of always listening to rock and a hip hop kind of a music, try to listen low music at that period of time only. Okay, then you can add some herbal teas like chamomile tea, or other than that jasmine tea. You can add hibiscus tea. Ideally I would recommend chamomile because it really works wonders. Again, it's my personal experience and I suggest to my clients as well. Again, there it has not got a lot of any kind of side effect as such. Okay, this will help you to reduce your stress, and it is a very good melatonin inducing kind of a herbal tea which you can include in your routine. And someone who can easily go for a meditation, like you can listen to some guided meditation kind of a stuff from online, from YouTube or something. um, you can easily do that. Okay, and just before going to sleep, as I said, try to take a small walk. For especially for diabetes I'm telling this, give, as I did, or definitely post meal, keep a gap of 2.5 hours at least before going to your bed. Okay, that way it will help you to have that good night sleep. Okay, as I already discussed on this, we are not going deep into that again. Okay, so last, coming to end of our discussion now. Okay, medication is also a very important part of a diabetes person. We can't deny that we can avoid having medication or avoid taking medication for that matter. It's very important. It's very wrong to say that if you're following a lifestyle, then completely cut off your medications. No, it works hand in hand. So medication is important. Again, I'm just highlighting on GLP-1 because it's all, it's in the news now. So just to give you just a gist of it, GLP is really helping few of clients. It's a like a mimicking your natural hormone. Okay, it will reduce your appetite, improve sugar control, help with weight loss. Everything is there. But at the end of the day, when you wean off that medication, you will get all those symptoms back again. So at the end of the day, it's very important to focus on on your lifestyle. As I said, as you can see here, diabetes reversal medicine is like a supporting actors. Lifestyle is the main hero. So don't forget this term if you like it. I personally liked it, so I'm keeping it here. So please remember, diabetes reversal and medicine are your supporting actors. Maybe they are hero in your initial levels, but lifestyle is the main hero. Okay. So to have all these kind of whatever the discussion of ours today's, in order to actually get the diabetes management or the diabetes reversal for you, it's very important is your mindset shift. Why? Because at the end of the day, if you are not ready to take that first step, thinking अरे नहीं ऐसे नहीं हो सकता है ऐसे कोई just by following some sleep routine, just following some exercise, can I really do that, is the question which most of you might get, right? But always remember, try to improve your always try to learn unlearn things. Okay, stop viewing all this thing as a restriction. Take it as kind of a step by step process, or always focus on the consistency. Don't focus on the perfection कि मुझे इतना ही खाना है, या मुझे आज मैंने आज एक्सरसाइज में सिर्फ 30 मिनट्स स्ट्रेंथ वर्कआउट किया, मुझे 45 करना था. इट्स ओके, यू डिड 30 मिनट्स, दैट्स गुड, फेयर इनफ. ओके, all these small wins will lead to your big changes in your life. Okay, especially when it comes to diabetes. So that mindset shift is very important when it comes to diabetes reversal. So at the end of the day, if I have to finish this webinar, I would just want to give you a take home message that try to improve your rusty locks, that is your insulin resistance, through your food habits, through your sleep and stress levels well maintained. And don't forget your metabolic markers and your medication. They work hand in hand, but definitely lifestyle is your hero. And with this, I'm going to end my webinar. And now we are open for questions. And thank you for such a, very good audience who are who interacted very well. So thank you for listening. Thank you for your time, and we are open for any questions if are there.
So I think Rajeshwari, we will take up the questions that are there maybe in the chat and in the Q&A.
Okay.
So
Any?
yeah. So I think
I will
let
stop
us.
sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think there is one question in the chat where someone is asked that what is the daily intake of sugar? Like what is the limit?
Okay. Um, okay, there are many questions actually.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you can take it up one by one, yeah?
Okay. Yeah. So ideally, as you asked me, what is the daily intake of sugar? Is it like white sugar they're asking for, or like just in general,
Yes, I
like?
think this is white sugar only, which is
Okay.
available in.
Actually, white sugar is like, if you see, it's 25 grams or 30 grams, but highly not recommended for a diabetic. So I would let them, you know, restrict it to 5 gram or 10 grams, not more than that. White sugar I'm talking about. Okay. And just a minute, there are many questions. I feel if there's something which I missed out, how many hours of sleep is required? Okay, for sleep, ideally, see, every individual sleep patterns are also different, okay? But 6 to 8 hours of sleep is required for a normal human being. That's I can say. But as I said, there are people who can have only 4 hours of sleep as well, or someone who is good with 5 hours of sleep as well. Okay, but generally 6 to 8 hours is a good sleep hour. Okay. Beet, carrot, potato is good for diabetic. Okay. Beet, carrot, potato, I don't say they are bad for diabetic or something. Depending upon the sugar levels, we would be definitely taking them. Potato, अगर आप ले रहे हो, not in a form of a lot of like potato. In a form of a bondas or a vadas or fried thing, not recommended. You can take it as a boiled form, that is fine. Beet and carrot is all fine, not a major issue. Okay. Yeah, they eat jaggery sweet. Is it correct, or they can have minimal amount? See, this is a very, very biggest myth when it comes to Munanji Swapna has asked me this. Okay, so diabetes patients generally they say that jaggery is a very good source, but to be very frank, again, to be giving you a very evidence-based thing, jaggery is nothing but a sugar only. It's just a different type of sugar. Okay. So again, it has very little amount of any kind of mineral which is present into it, but it at the end of the day, it is a same sugar, just that different type of sugar. It's like a fructose. अगर आपका sugar sucrose है, तो like it's a fructose kind of a thing. Okay, so nothing major difference will happen. Yes, it's a sad part. I do understand most of the doctors, they generally say कि jaggery ले लो sugar से. I completely understand. Again, I'm telling you, I'm not against any of the doctors, but because they are not really, well aware of the nutritional point of view, so they might say this, but ideally, it's all one and the same. Jaggery, sugar, one and the same. Just that try to minimal use. If you are using it, try to use it in very minimal quantity. Yes, definitely pre-diabetic can eat sweets in a moderation, not an issue. अगर आप sweet ले रहे हो, do see to that. You are combining में मतलब अगर आप समझो, अगर आपने सुबह कुछ खा लिया खीर and all that, right? So try to see in that portion of your kheer, add more of vegetables, more of proteins in source, so that it will be compensated. Okay. Yeah. Um. Okay, 55 years, is it okay to step upstairs? Steps are advised. 55 years, depending upon if they don't have any knee pain issues or joint pain issues, definitely they can easily, climb the stairs and all. It is like a simple, climbing up for 10 minutes. It's not very like a brisk walking kind of a stuff. Okay, but as I said, check with their knees issues, then they can do it. Okay. Okay, then. After how minutes we are supposed to get up? I didn't get this question. Kastub has asked this. After how many minutes are we supposed to get up and get up for long? Weight gain, yes, it is one of the symptoms of diabetes. For some people, see, now someone they might lose weight also, and some people can gain weight also when it comes to diabetes. Diabetes is not like saying someone is very thin, but he can be a diabetic as well. And there are many people who are like that. Okay. Okay. Then. um, Oh, continuously. Okay, okay, that way. Okay, so हाँ से 90 minutes. अगर आप 90 minutes chair पर हो तो try to get up from that your position and do some stretches. Do 5-10 minutes of walk or something. That is fair enough. Okay. Okay, CGM data reliable. Ideally, see, we have used this data on our clients. I have a lot of time. I have seen it's more of, it's sometimes it's accurate with the food part, but it's not a very reliable source. Okay, so I would not really recommend it. It is good for people who are like, very aged, and for them it's very tricky to prick their hands of, fingers on a very daily basis, and the sugar levels are very high. In that scenario, CGM is there. But there is lot of difference when it comes to, the actual and this thing, the glucose levels which you check through your blood. Okay, because the CGM works in a very different way, and the blood sugar levels work in a very different way. Okay, definitely diabetic are having a complications going ahead if they don't take care of their diabetes. There is issues, complications are there, that is neuropathy, retinopathy. That means retinopathy is with their eye issues, blood pressure is definitely there, heart is a cardiovascular issues. All these are the major complications of diabetes in a later stages. Not necessarily. Diabetes people don't like to eat. It might be a very individual thing. Maybe a some person who really don't like to eat vegetables. What we can do here is we can give them in a form of a soup of their choices initially. Then we can build that habit. We need to guide them. We need to counsel them so that it will be useful for them. You can have veggies in a form of parathas, tikkis, that way, or a soup. That way we can include it, but it is again a very individual these things. Maybe a person is not really interested to eat vegetables. Could you please tell about fasting? Are you telling about the fasting, intermittent fasting thing? I hope that is the question. Intermittent fasting, yes, great. So intermittent fasting is really a very good kind of a again a what you say, it's not a plan. Remember, it's not a diet plan, it's again a lifestyle changes which you will make in your routine. So ideally there are different types of intermittent fasting. I'm just highlighting in general, तो हमारा 12 hour का fasting हो ही जाता है, right? If you are eating at 8 o'clock or something, example giving, and on the second next day you will have your first meal, maybe it's a tea, okay, or maybe a badam or a whatever soaked badam, or anything, soaked almonds for that matter. You are breaking your fast, so it is 12 hours to hota hai ye. Again, in a diabetic, definitely it is going to help them. As I said, it is going to help for individuals who are going to manage it through their lifestyle preferences. If someone is not able to follow it, then it will be a little challenging, because as I said, uh, intermittent fasting is not a diet plan, nothing as such. It's just a type of changes, modifications which you will do in your lifestyle. Okay, but it is pretty much good. You can do it. Okay, symptoms for pre-diabetic as such, if you ask me, even for a pre-diabetic, there is no symptom at all. Until unless they check their blood sugar levels, they don't see any kind of symptoms. That's the reason, if you see, I told you metabolic iceberg kind of a thing, it is happening underneath. Okay, in later stages, if they are not working on their lifestyle, they are prone to diabetic. As such, there is no particular symptom, but there are few people might be low on energies, or kind of a skinny fat kind of a thing. Okay, that might happen, but they have no major as such symptom kind of a thing. um, what to do after doing all weight does not reduce? After doing all in the sense, you need to check, it's not like a very generic advice I can give here. We need to know what is your lifestyle, what is that your preferences you are doing, when it comes to food, what is the exercise you are doing, what are the challenges you are facing on day to day life in order to follow this routine. On that basis I can tell you why your weight is not going. Okay, there might be some internal again concerns. Okay, so I would recommend, here I can't really give you a very generic answer. Okay, how dangerous HbA1c is it? See, it's not like a dangerous or something. See to that you reduce your HbA1c below 8. Don't go beyond that. Okay, this is a stage where might be going ahead. You might be prone to other complications. Okay, so in order to do that, ट्राई टू सी कि आप इसको रिड्यूस कैसे कर सकते हो. उसको वहीं पर बैठने मत दो. HbA1c आप कम सी, अगर आपका HbA1c बड़ा है, right, naturally it can come down also, right, so it can be very much manageable, so don't just fear of that. Okay. Okay, when you have craving to eat something sweet, then what's supposed to eat? Okay, when there is a sweet craving, I would recommend adding a dark chocolate. Again, depending upon your sugar levels, you can add this also, dates also. Okay, so you can have that. It's the best way to include in your routine, or your fruit. Okay, even with your fruit. And sometimes the cravings are on a higher side. Again, it shows that your meal patterns are not well managed. Automatically when you start increasing your fiber intake, your protein intake, your cravings will also reduce, and that in turn will reduce your sugar levels. Okay. Mm, okay. Grapes and dates are also, yes, grapes. We not recommend grapes and dates for, that's the reason I told you, depending upon the sugar levels, grapes and dates, all depending on the sugar levels, we recommend. Generally, we don't recommend grapes and all. We just recommend this only. Sugar-free products, yes, they are reliable. Depending upon what type, the best would be monk fruit. Yeah. I hope. Can we go to have 2 meals like? Yes, yes. That's fine. Depending upon how is your lifestyle routine, you can have 2 meals. That is also not an issue. See to that you follow the meal plate method, which I just discussed with you. See to that your protein intake are fulfilled. That way you can take. Fruits, mango is seasonal, so you can have mango and papaya, but don't go beyond, certain portion sizes. Like one in a day is fine. Definitely, watermelon is not recommended for a diabetic person. Um, as I told you, get up from your seat after 90 minutes, that is 1.5 hours. Okay, and take a stretch of 5 to 10 minutes. That way, it will help you. Okay. Yeah, I hope I have answered almost all your queries, and I hope this discussion was, or this webinars was very useful to all of you. Or any queries, anything, you can reach out to me. Okay, and yeah.
So, yes, on behalf of everyone, I'd like to thank Rajeshwari for this, quite an educative session that we've had. And yes, I think you've almost covered up all the questions that were put in the chat box.
Yes,
So,
yes.
thank you, Rajeshwari, on behalf of everyone and behalf of IMT team.
Yeah, thank you.
For our guests that who are present during the call, I'd like to thank you for your time, and also Rajeshwari's details would be shared with you guys post the session. Yeah,
That would be great. If anyone wants to have a personal consultation, I'm open for that. That way, I will be able to help you out in a better way. Okay?
sure.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rajeshwari.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot,
bye.
everyone. Have a good evening. Bye.